Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Discovering Dawson's Creek here on the It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel, and of course, also now on the main podcast feed as well. How very exciting it is that we are now giving Dawson's Creek, discovering Dawson's Creek to anyone and everyone that wishes to listen to it on the go, Jeannine. It is very exciting. It's took us 3 seasons to do it.
Yeah.
But we're here with more of the beginning part of season 4 today. Episodes 3 and 4 today. We're coming off an interesting old start, which saw Joey and Pacey come back after a summer of frivolity to the hardships of real life again, and struggles and emotions and the Dawson of it all. And really does that fractured relationship develop into perhaps a little bit more rekindling today, Jeannine, in today's episode?
Seems like it
does, which is interesting. I mean, it should be doing, because why are we so hypocritical, Dawson? But it's interesting, I think, how it comes about. The episodes we have to talk about today include a big seafaring adventure, another one, because there's a storm and it's literally like a disaster movie all of a sudden.
Yes, very dramatic.
Very extreme.
The perfect storm.
Quite similar to the perfect storm. And then we're talking an awful lot about college applications as well. More situations with this terrible new character who apparently knows Jen from the past, who I don't like very much at all. I think he's very, 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 very annoying. And, you know, when you compare the start of season characters who I'm led to believe go absolutely nowhere, when you compare Drew to Eve from season 3, as evil as Eve was, I'm actively enjoying her. You know, I actively feel like I enjoyed her presence in the show more than I'm enjoying
Drew Valentine.
Mid-80s preppy teen movie villain that he seems to be. He's very, very snooty and up himself, and I don't like him at all.
Okay.
But we'll get into it all today, won't we, Jeannine? I mean, how do we feel about these 2 episodes? I know you were quite excited for the 2 gentlemen of Capeside.
Yes, because I was kind of waiting for some more kind of addressing of, why Pacey gets ostracized, but Joey gets forgiven, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they still don't directly kind of touch on that, but there is some groundwork, and I love kind of Joey's defense of Pacey and talking about how complicated the situation is, and it's not just all as black and white as Dawson reads it to be. And so I think, it lays out the groundwork to be on the road for Dawson to kind of take in that perspective finally. So
I mean, I don't think they ever tell us why, because frankly they don't have an answer for why, because it's all in just Dawson's hypocritical mind. The exploration of it is what we need. You know, the fact it's being brought up as a hypocrisy is what we need, because there's no justifiable answer as to why he's constantly forgiving of Joey, who's literally doing the exact same thing as Pacey is.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just need that. And it's just so annoying that he can't see it that way. It's just all Pacey's betrayal. But a lot of interesting actions from Dawson in, these episodes in terms of,
there is,
going, out to save Pacey essentially, and things about their friendship coming to, to end up aiding him in saving Pacey.
Yes.
So,
saving Pacey. I mean, who'd have thought it? I wouldn't have thought it at the back end of last season. I thought there was going to be, fights and beatings up and, real heavy shouting matches. I didn't realize 3 episodes into the next season we'd be on a trend of saving. But you know what? It doesn't feel like one of those back and forth emotional situations that I can get annoyed with in certain styles of television, and this being a style of television that I can get annoyed with that within. But it feels understandable, and I think it feels justified. Maybe because it's a particularly extreme situation where genuine death, I think, is a concern. But you know, it made sense to me. It gripped me. It held me in the proverbial chokehold, Jeannine. And I did certainly enjoy the rather extreme emotions of that first episode. I think, though, before we get the binder out today and get into the episodes in particular that we do have to talk about, we should mention the fact that last week there was the Dawson's Creek reunion.
Yes.
Which was a very important event.
Yes, a big kind of charity reunion they did where they all kind of got together and did different readings from scenes and episodes of the show. And it was all in aid of the F Cancer charity in support of James Van Der Beek, who is going through cancer right now, which, you know, he was sick, so he couldn't actually be at the event. He had been planning to be at the event. Michelle
Yes,
Williams,
I think he was trying his best, wasn't he, to get himself there.
Yes, and Michelle Williams, she, I guess, had been kind of the proponent in trying to arrange this for a while now. So it was kind of her brainchild to do something like this, which is just so beautiful. And he ultimately couldn't be there, but he sent like a really great video message. So of course, you know, on this show, we tend to rag on Dawson a lot, but that
but we're not ragging on Van Der Beek.
No, but that does not extend to James Van Der Beek, who is a wonderful human, and also has had an amazing sense of humor about Dawson. You know, he says all the things about Dawson that we say about Dawson. I mean, look at the sense of humor he has about himself by watching, you know, Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, where he played this like satirical version of himself, you know, making cameos in things like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Scary Movie popping in the window as Dawson and things like that. So he's always had a wonderful sense of humor about this character, but has seemed to love it very much. So we always, you know, have so much love and respect for James Van Der Beek for that. He did kind of have some fun equating the kind of love triangle situation in Dawson's Creek to Phantom of the Opera, which was a production he got to be a part of. So he made that comparison in his speech as this event was held, I think, in the same theater where Hamilton was done, which is why Lin-Manuel Miranda stepped up to be his understudy, essentially.
Yeah, which was a slightly strange thing for me to discover.
Yeah.
Oh, who's replacing Van Der Beek? He can't be there. Who's replacing him in this reading? Wow, okay, that's a pretty impressive get.
Yes, but, and her name, Renee Elise Goldsberry, who was also in Hamilton. She played Angelica. She was, I think, like kind of moderating the whole event. So yeah, it was an interesting choice to have a stand-in, but I think because it was in that Hamilton theater. But yes, he did go on to kind of make that comparison as the Phantom, you know, lets the love of his life go to be with the man she wants to be with. And he says, you know,
and he considers Dawson to be the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, but he also
absolutely self-important.
Right? Yes, but he also makes the comment, but you know, the Phantom didn't get turned into a ridiculous crying meme, he says. So he does address the ridiculous crying.
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like the Phantom of the Opera has been turned into some sort of maybe not a meme in the strictest sense.
And maybe only Gerard Butler's version, I'm sure.
Possibly. I mean, not many people are looking at, you know, the Lon Chaney unmasking scene of the Phantom of the Opera and turning it into a meme, I don't think.
No. So yeah, he did send a really sweet message. There was also a really fun video message from Steven Spielberg, you know, in relation to the character of Dawson, you know, being a huge Spielberg fanboy. So that was really cool. And yeah, my luck, of course, this would happen like the week after I was actually in New York. So really heartbreaking as somebody who clearly loves Dawson's Creek. Heartbreaking, because it would have been really great to kind of see some of those scenes be, played out by these actors. And I think, in this
you would have been beside yourself, given that
I would have,
literally
yes,
everybody
everyone
apart
was
from
there.
Vanderbeek was there.
Yes. And the fact that, in this watch through and getting to kind of talk the episodes through with you, it's made me even more cognizant of how great the supporting cast is, because I think, on weekly episodes, we gush about the great scenes between Bessie and Joey, or Jen and Grams, or Jack and Andy. So, we've been just as invested in the Mitch and Gail saga as we were with, the things happening with the leads and those actors' performances. John Wesley Shipp and Mary Margaret Humes, their performances have been great as well. So it would have been lovely to get to see those actors get those moments to shine in playing out some scenes with each other on the stage like that. So, yeah.
Who looks older than everybody else, though? Weirdly. Is Kerr Smith.
Kerr Smith, yeah, because you're used to seeing him with the jet black hair, and his hair is stark. He's very much like a Matt LeBlanc. Like, as soon as Friends was over, the white hair came out, kind of thing.
Because his face isn't that old, but he looks like Santa. With a beard, with a really white beard and white hair.
Yeah, and we're used to just seeing the dark hair on him. So, yeah.
He's not that old. He can't, he's not that old.
No, I don't think he's that much. Like, he's kind of around the same age as everyone else. But Mary Beth Peel, she looked absolutely beautiful. I think we kind of looked it up. She's like 85. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's wearing this very bright red kind of suit.
The suit, yes.
Very nice.
Yes. And James Vanderbeek, all his kids and his wife were there. And the whole cast ended up
singing the theme.
Singing the I Don't Wanna Wait.
Yes,
nice. And his daughters came up and sang and ended the song. So it was a very beautiful event from the clips and things that I saw about it. And just great moments with this cast who clearly care about each other. I don't know if you saw any clips of any Audrey things with Busy Phillips, because we haven't quite got there yet. So
no, not specifically. No, I saw that she was there and getting, a mention and the cheering and everything like that. But I'm aware that she's in the show, but I know we haven't got that.
Well, her presence and the scenes that she was incorporated in might spoil some things for you. So just checking to see if you saw any of that. But yes, you will be aware of Audrey when they go to college, as she ends up being Joey's college roommate. So yes, but what looks like a beautiful event, raising money to support James and cancer research and those kinds of things. And just a really beautiful coming together of this cast. And really made me happy to see that. And obviously there's a movie that Katie Holmes is directing where she's starring with Joshua Jackson. So that's bringing all the nostalgia feels as well. So yeah, just happy to see that this cast still really cares about each other like that. And how many people, I've seen so many clips of this. So like, just to see how the show still resonates with people all these years later, could have just been written off as this cheesy teen thing. Paul Stupin and Kevin Williamson were there as well. Paul Stupin, like the producer, and obviously Kevin Williamson, the creator, they were also there as well. I saw videos of them. So yeah, just a beautiful thing. And I love that that has happened in the time that we are, watching this show and discussing it, and you are discovering Dawson's Creek, so you can kind of get in on the fun of something like this as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the fact that me watching these clips and seeing all of these people together, me who didn't watch the show all those years, years and years ago, me who has just started watching the show in the last sort of couple of years, the fact it's getting me very, very invested, and I'm sat there beaming, going, "Oh, look at everybody! This is nice. It means something. It tells you that Dawson's Creek as a show is probably the best of its kind in what in the style of television it did. Because how many teen melodramas have there been on television?
Yeah.
Way too many, a ridiculous amount. Yet Dawson's Creek, you do always hear, and it's not just because we're doing this, you do always hear Dawson's Creek mentioned.
It's referenced, in other things.
Significant,
pop culture
impactful,
piece.
important pop culture piece, an important piece, a notable, or incredibly notable show of its era, of its kind. And since Dawson's Creek, there's been many sort of teen melodramas, none of which I think have had anywhere close to the impact that Dawson's Creek has had, despite potentially being popular at the time they were out. Like, who's talking about Pretty Little Liars these days?
Right.
Nobody. But everybody was talking about it when it was out.
Yeah.
But where's the legacy?
Yeah.
Dawson's has the legacy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
It's One Tree Hill and things like that. Nobody's bringing this up anymore. Nobody talks about these things.
Yeah.
But people do still talk about Dawson's Creek. People do still care about Dawson's Creek. And maybe that's just the circle that I am in at the moment. And seeing those things. And I'm not seeing too much One Tree Hill and Pretty Little Liars content. But I don't know. It's interesting, though. It seems pretty clear to me.
Good. I'm glad you're in the mix now. I'm glad you're officially a part of the Dawson's Creek fan family.
I mean, I have been for some time, I think, really, but in a different way, in a little bit of a different way, in a more cynical kind of way.
Well, I'll take you how I can get you in any form of Dawson's Creek fan, because you know how much I love this show. So, yes.
No, it was good to see, though, but a real shame Vanderbeek couldn't make it. I suppose that tells you that, he's struggling a lot. Because why, if he was doing everything he could
to be there, planning to be there. He was planning,
given that it was such a massive deal and that he literally physically couldn't
be there. Yeah.
He needs all the support everybody can give him.
Yes, and he has it. So that's great to see. Yeah.
He does. Get the binder out, Jeannine. Two Gentlemen of Capeside. Let's get into it.
All right. Episode 3, Two Gentlemen of Capeside, aired October 18th, 2000. Pacey is happy for his good grades and decides to sail for celebration. Dawson, Joey, and Drew are assigned for a work, and Joey can't go with him for a work. Okay.
Grammar of the synopsis.
Yes, of the synopsis. Whoever wrote this. And Joey can't go with him. Instead, Pacey takes Jen with him. What they didn't know was that a huge storm was coming, and suddenly they have to face it. Andy is having an interview with Drew's mom for college, but her medical records get in her way. Mrs. Valentine worries about Andy's mental stability and denies her the spot. When the storm gets bigger, Andy takes control of the situation and guides everybody to rescue Jen and Pacey, who admit to each other their biggest regrets in life. Jen regrets never being in love despite her feelings for Henry, and Pacey regrets the destruction of his friendship with Dawson. Dawson and Joey go on a small boat to rescue them, and Dawson saves Pacey's life. He apologizes to Dawson for all his attitude over the past months.
I seem to remember last time on this show on Discovering Dawson's Creek, me noticeably saying that the synopses for this season are nowhere near as competently done as the ones were for last season. I don't know what's gone on.
I know. Well, I had to replace the original ones that were here because I noticed that the pages were cut off. So I don't know if I had printed them or somebody printed them for me. But so I couldn't use those ones because it literally cuts off the synopsis at the end of the page. So I found new ones that seemed pretty comprehensive and printed those out like a few months ago. But it seems like whoever wrote these, has been messing up with the typos business over here. So I might have to find yet another set of synopses for my binder here.
What I would say to start us off is Okay, Pacey, right now getting a few good grades again. This was a serious problem as soon as he got back and, started the new school year. Sort your grades out. It won't, you're going to end up failing and you're not going to end up passing high school. And you don't want to be doing that. So, yes, good, great. Yeah, sort your grades out. Oh, I've gotten a few good grades. Yeah, I know how to celebrate. I'll go back on the boat I've just spent 3 months on.
Yeah.
Sure, do something a bit different. Why can't we do something a bit different? Why do we have to go on the boat again? Surely you would want to not be on the boat for a while.
Well,
Are
I
you
mean,
not boated out, Pacey?
I don't think he is boated out, which is why ultimately what happens at the end when he has to leave it behind, it's a very difficult decision for him.
Well, it is, yes, but it's also a horrific storm.
Yes.
That some things cannot be salvaged and life is more important.
Exactly. But knowing Pacey, look what he put into that boat. Look what it was.
Yes.
It was something he had to invest time in when he was going through a very difficult breakup with Andy and that betrayal. And then,
and I suppose metaphorically it means something to him and Joey as well.
Yes, exactly. And then, then it kind of, as he's building it and it growing, that kind of being a metaphor for his relationship with Joey. And then that whole kind of time they spent together, every good memory he has, knowing that he doesn't have very many good memories. So yeah, a big sentimental thing for him. And, and we saw him talk a lot about, I'm going to fail anyway. Let's just sail away. I'll go on the boat right now and sail off somewhere and figure it out, rather than facing this situation, which was kind of his mindset last time. So yeah, of course he'd rather be on the boat. It's like his safe haven. It's his happy place kind of thing. So yeah, take that into account.
I will take that into account.
Yes,
but I will also
good to
say,
see him getting good grades. So that we love that for him.
Good to see him getting good grades until the next episode where he's not getting good grades again. Which I was a little bit confused. Like, how does it change that quickly? It can't change that quickly.
Well, maybe he's getting good grades in one thing and not in something else. So.
Oh, no, I mean, we can't just be celebrating a good English grade and a bad maths grade, can we? I mean, what's going on here?
I guess not. Yes. But yeah, the fact that, like, I don't know why there was so much confusion about the weather. I think they kind of talk about it being this kind of surprise storm that was unpredictable. And did something that they weren't planning on it doing. So that's why him and Jen ultimately get kind of stuck in this thing. But I do like that whole confession aspect of them.
100%. No, I absolutely agree with you there. I love the confessional where we might die. We might as well get it all out now.
Yeah.
Situation of it all. I do always like that. It always, promotes good reveals of internal character thoughts and all that kind of stuff. The logic, though, why? So the weather situation. Oh, there's going to be a storm. Everybody's aware that there's going to be a storm, but it's going to pass us by. So so in my mind, what you're saying the storm is going to do is it's going to come up the east coast of the US, Florida, Carolinas, Virginia, and all. It's going to come all the way up. And then just hit Massachusetts and then go to Canada as well.
It's just gonna take a right somewhere and not.
No, it's not going to do that. If there's a storm coming up the east coast,
it's gonna go through.
That you're all aware of.
Yeah.
Don't go on the water.
Yeah,
no matter what.
Yes, because everyone seems to like Mr. Brooks, the old man. He seems to be aware of the storm, wanting to hurry up and get home. Mitch and Gail are talking about the storm coming up. Like, everybody's talking about it. So I don't know.
Pacey's like, oh no, the weather says it's not going to hit us. It's going to pass us by and then carry on again slightly north.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think it is going to do that.
No, it didn't quite work out like that. But yeah, before we get there, we see that Drew, your favorite new character, ends up, there's this discussion spurred in the class about the two gentlemen of Verona. And the story, yes. and the story ends up paralleling the Dawson Joey situation. So
Very
they do get into a heated debate about the characterization, and Joey's defending the stance that it's not all black and white. It's a very complicated situation. Yes, this girl kind of has come between them, but it's not that cut and dry. The one guy who thinks he's been scorned is too busy thinking about himself to really even pay attention to anything else going on, kind of thing. So they're kind of going back and forth. Yeah, exactly. So, they're making these points passionately back and forth, and Drew decides it's a perfect opportunity to just give these people extra work. So he makes some comment about, oh, well, it looks like they're having an impassioned debate, teacher. Why don't you make them write an essay on it or something? And so
why would somebody say this? Why would somebody say, if somebody said this when I was in school and somebody, and like, how about we do an assignment based on this debate that we're having? And the teacher goes, oh, what a good idea. That person would be mercilessly bullied for a year.
Yeah, like why would he just go out of his way to make them have extra work? But it backfires and he gets roped into being a part of the work too. So
which I was glad about.
Yes.
You should force him to do everything.
Yes. So now, kind of in this contentious mindset, the two of them have to do this assignment together that's directly related to the thing that's that's already kind of causing the tension. And thus, yes, and thus is causing the divide between Joey and Pacey getting to hang out or whatever. Yes. So they're doing this all at the yacht club where Joey is working. And she has a patron come in, this old grumpy man, Mr. Brooks. So this will not be the last we see of Mr. Brooks, actually.
Okay.
Yes, he will end up becoming a character who might speak to your sensibilities going forward.
Might speak to my... Does he hate Dawson?
Well, I mean, we saw them pretty contentious at the end of this episode because Dawson did steal his boat. But we will learn something about Mr. Brooks that I think you'll find interesting.
What specifically will I find interesting? Why are you likening me to old crotchety men?
I mean,
listen, I'm okay.
Can you really?
No. I sense the insult here.
No, there is something specific. Our good friend Eric, who supports this show, will back me up. I'm saying there is something you learn about Mr. Brooks that I think you will relate to later on down the line.
Okay. I won't question it now because I could be here all day trying to figure out what that is. So I'll just take it and I'll take it and move on.
Yes. So then kind of everything goes down at the yacht club. We have Dawson, Joey, and Drew doing this assignment. Andy is there doing her interview with Miss Valentine, Drew's mom, and she's just being really nasty.
Andy's panicking, panic, and the anxiety's coming out. Andy the anxious. He's coming out.
Well, no,
Andy degrees.
Well, Andy ends up kind of saving the day and making Mrs. Valentine look stupid because...
I mean, yes, she does, but she's still panicking about college interviews. And I just feel like this is going to be the entire season of Andy, isn't it? It's just going to be, oh my God, I have to get into Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Princeton.
Yeah, Yale, we are all Columbia. We are all Jack in the annoyance of Andy constantly bugging about colleges, particularly in this next episode. But here she gets a little bit of a shining moment because, which is great because it also then circles around kind of discussions about mental health. And, and so we love to see that she's really embraced kind of what she's been through and working through it. And she talks about that being one of her strengths and that it doesn't define her, but she knows, is part of her story and those kinds of things. And
it's very unfairly maligned, I must
say, Miss Valentine. Yes. So she's very rude about it and talking kind of about how she's too unstable to be recommended for this spot and all of these kinds of things. But then,
look how many unstable people have been very well educated.
Exactly. So
I don't see why that's relevant.
yeah, so there's very just kind of rude stigma around mental health from this woman. So as the news is going and we're hearing more about the storm brewing, Joey's getting worried because she knows Pacey and Jen are out there. And the storm's even kind of hitting the yacht club, and like some glass breaks, like
who could have seen this coming?
Yes, and so
not the weather people.
No, not the weather people at all. So Ms. Valentine doesn't really know what to do, but Andy ends up kind of taking charge and delegating and telling people what to do, and getting control of the situation. One of like
what
the
Andy
boatmen
wants to be. She doesn't need to focus this much on supreme high education. She just always seems interested in education. Not exactly, like, she doesn't seem to have a career goal for being somebody so ambitious and so we must do this, dedicated, you do it, best grades. What does she want to do with it other than go to college? Like, surely there should be something that you have in your mind after that, and she just doesn't. What she doesn't. I think what she actually wants to be is like a mayor or something like that. I think that'd be a great job for Andy, and she's just able to focus in on a town or even a city if she wants to be, and just have that all focus, delegate, bang, 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 and that she'd love that.
Yes, some type of public servant, because you're right. She has this drive, but I don't think there's any kind of
where's it going
direction behind it. Yeah, that's so true. It's because she's just all about this and that and the importance of college, and I want to go here and I want to go there and I want to, but what do you want to do with any of that?
What do you want to do there? What do you want to do when you get there? I know the college system in the US is different to the university system in Britain. Obviously in Britain you pick one thing and you do that one thing, and the American college system is obviously you have your major things, but you also have all
can do all the little things. And for me, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I did a bunch of little goofy ass classes until
and then you get a college degree, and it's more about the fact that I have a degree in, and I did all these various things to get this degree from said university, as opposed to Britain, which is I have this degree in this one direct thing,
and that's what I'm going to say.
Where you got it from isn't as relevant.
Yes. So here it's kind of just like, try a bunch of different things, maybe have one main focus, and then you can do a bunch of little elective things as well. I think you laughed at me when I told you I took a paper making class in community college.
Phenomenal. Sometimes I really do wish that there was a bit more of a balance between both kind of notable systems of university. And this speaks to stuff that's going on in the next episode as well, because that's very, very kind of college application and school and educational focused. But I really do wish sometimes, and it confuses is the wrong word, because I actually understand in learning more and reading more, hearing more, watching more about these kind of things. I do understand the American mentality around colleges, and it's far more important to go to a specific one than it is what you do there. In Britain, that's near enough the complete opposite, unless you go into Oxford, Cambridge. Unless you go into Oxford, Cambridge, or you're very wealthy and you go into a public school, confusingly, public schools are the most elite, exclusive schools. They're called public schools. It's weird.
Very
technically it's because anyone of the public can go there, providing they pay and pass the exam. Technically that's why, but like nobody can afford to go there unless you're super wealthy. But it's unless you go into one of those places, or Oxford, Cambridge, nobody really cares where you went to university.
I think
what you did there.
But here, the name recognition, I think, helps towards getting whatever right kind of job that you're looking for,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So yeah. But yeah, that's a really good point. Like, Andy has all this direction, and she even shows, like, her being able to delegate and take control despite this lady's thoughts about her mental stability. But yeah, what does she really want to do with it? But I do love that there is this great conversation around Andy's mental health and her being honest about that,
Yes,
and being able
definitely.
to embrace that, and being able to not let it define her, and getting to see her, take control of something, and be good at something despite what somebody thinks of her because of what she's been through. So it was cool to see her get that moment to kind of step up and then shove it in the lady's face later, and Jack kind of like backing her up, which was really fun as well.
Yeah.
Get to see that little sibling bonding right there. So yeah, and part of that whole delegation was Andy kind of helping Dawson and Joey figure out where Jen and Pacey were, because the boat guy said, like, he was checking on all the boats that are out, and they didn't get any calls on the True Love. So that goes into play of Pacey sailing him and Jen into this cove that he thinks could give them shelter, and him saying, Dawson will know where we are. Dawson will know. And then, we cut back to Dawson, and Dawson knows exactly where he's going, to that cove. So, it's rare. I think we've talked about it a lot, that we see moments that speak to this friendship that Pacey and Dawson are supposed to have. Because it always seems like
use past tense is more
supposed
appropriate.
that are supposed to have had.
Yes.
And
they currently do not have at all.
Yes. And so to see a nice moment like this, in terms of just like, Dawson will know where we are, and Dawson knowing where he is. It's this cove we used to go to. And so it was nice, because I feel like, despite kind of just telling us that they're friends from childhood,
Yeah.
there's very little focus on the Pacey Dawson friendship. And of course,
I feel
it's
like
more heavily focused on the Joey Dawson friendship.
Yeah. This is definitely the most significant display of that,
of their past, and them knowing each other well. So
I think the only thing that comes, absolutely, I think the only thing that comes relatively close to is when little Buzz was
and they have that little camp out.
Went to that camp thing.
Yeah.
But that wasn't anywhere near as significant as this felt here. So yeah, it was nice to see. I don't know why it only has to come in the most extreme of circumstances, both emotionally and life-threateningly. But at least they're doing something with Pacey and Dawson, quote unquote, friendship
repair. Yes. So they ultimately end up stealing grumpy old Mr. Brooks' boat, and Dawson's trying to go by himself, but Joey's like, no, I'm going with you. That's my man. So I'm not gonna. You're not going without me. So they ultimately take his boat and go. They end up finding Pacey and Jen, and like, it's this big kind of dramatic waves crashing.
Oh, it's incredibly intense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have sent you the video. There was like a whole, I think, like Entertainment Tonight, like behind the scenes video of the taping of this episode. But yeah, they play it really dramatic. Jen is terrified, and Pacey doing whatever he can to like just try to make her, feel at ease, but it's hard because it's looking crazy out there. But Dawson ultimately finds them, and he gets Jen, and then he's telling Pacey to come, but Pacey's like, I'm not leaving my boat. I can't. And then he sees Joey, and Joey's calling his name, and we get this like slow-mo freeze frame zoom in dramatic.
Joey, okay, I must listen to Joey.
Yes, and Dawson jumps off from his boat to Pacey's boat to get him, and they jump back over together, and it's slow-mo. It's like, and the music is swelling, all dramatic, and we see the
very
dramatic kind of be abandoned, and it ends up kind of creating a bit of a fight between Joey and Pacey, because he was willing to stay with his boat, and he wasn't really thinking about how scared she was for him. And so I love the kind of sweetness of her saying, just remember you're thinking for two. And you know, that's all he kind of needs to hear to realize, oh, you're right.
Is he pregnant? That's what people say to pregnant people.
Yes, but no, in the context of you're thinking for two, you're thinking for you and you're thinking for me.
Yes, correct. Yes, accurate.
Yes, no babies.
It's a shame that it's a shame though. It's a serious, significant moment.
Yeah.
I'm making light of it, but it's very, very kind of tough to watch, I suppose, because you don't want to see Pacey's
give up something he worked so hard on.
Give up something like that. It's the thing he's incredibly dedicated to.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he's also dedicated to Joey, and he has Joey, and Joey's dedicated to him currently. Yeah. So at least there's that still.
Yeah.
Because if there wasn't that, this would render Pacey inconsolable.
Yes.
And he'd just be a complete and utter mess, and I wouldn't like that.
Yes. So I'm glad that she kind of brings him to earth about, like, you know, your life is more important than something like that, and you have me, and I have you, and so that kind of is enough for him to realize it, and you know, and kind of be okay with the loss, because I think it would have been a lot worse otherwise. So yeah,
and as we said before as well, with the revelations that take place on this on the stormy true love between you know, Pacey and Jen.
Yeah.
The regret Pacey shows over how his friendship with Dawson has broke down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think it's Pacey's fault. I know I'm making noise then, but I don't necessarily think it's Pacey's fault.
No, it definitely, I don't think it is either.
So regret, I read in that sense as the regret of the situation, not of anything I have personally done.
Yes. And
from Jen's point, not being in love, well, yeah, I mean, you couldn't have been.
I don't think you're really in love with Henry. Yeah.
He was annoying.
Immature and ridiculous and annoying. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think it's from anything that Pacey feels like he has done, because there were efforts made by him to make peace with Dawson, and when Dawson was very negative about it, Pacey backed off and then kind of just said, okay, well, what's the point? And he kind of gave up and was like, he acted like he didn't care because Dawson wasn't receptive, but clearly he did still care. But Dawson was not allowing him to make peace, so he just kind of took it for what it was. So that's where I think Pacey.
There's a nice little quiet scene, though, isn't there, at the end? Is it the end of this episode? I think it is the end of this episode, between Dawson and Pacey. Pacey comes reluctantly walking up to Dawson's house after the storm, and Dawson's cleaning up all the branches and the debris and everything that storms cause. And it's a bit sheepish. And Pacey's like, can I just speak to you, please, Dawson, for a little moment? What do you want? He's not quite that harsh, but there's still some coldness there. Yeah. There's semi-coldness there. There's semi-conflict there, but there's a little bit of his revelation to Jen in the boat is then told to Dawson, isn't it, really? I regret, the breakdown of our friendship. I hope one day we can get back to some sort of something. And Dawson basically responds to all this outpouring of emotion with, maybe one day. Yeah. Which is, to be honest, better than I expected.
Yeah. Yes. So it's the warmest we've gotten from Dawson to Pacey in the midst of this whole situation. So yeah, I think it's okay to see that as a bridge to something better between these two. So yeah,
it's going to take a lot for Dawson to get over himself anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So
yes, it definitely is. Other things we got in this episode, I believe we got Gretchen getting a job as a bartender at Leary's Fresh Fish, and Gail kind of being concerned. So they're kind of alluding to some deeper reasons as to why Gretchen left school, and she's kind of out of college indefinitely.
Yeah.
And because
I'm sure we'll get revealed.
Yes, because Gail questions like, oh, I hired her, but now I'm kind of concerned. I don't know how long she's going to stay on, if she's just going to go back to school. But, there's something up with her leaving and not really being able to say when she's going back. Yeah. So a setup for something potentially there.
No doubt.
Yes. And then we do get a great Graham scene once again, because there is a gash in Mr. Brooks' boat when they return it to him, and he's yelling at Dawson and telling Dawson he's going to pay for the gash. And Dawson's like, well, I do have some money I was saving up for college. And Grams is like, you're not going to give that man your money. And she yells at Mr. Brooks.
Absolutely no, we're not doing any of that.
Yes, she yells at Mr. Brooks for being a crotchety, rude old man and leave Dawson alone. And if I hear that this boy's giving you any of that money, I'm going to kick your butt. She's I'm like, yeah, Grams. Yes. But also that may not be the last of Grams, going toe to toe with Mr. Brooks.
No, is there a rivalry there?
Is there a bit of
or is there a bit of a is there a bit of a contentious fondness there potentially between the two of them?
Perhaps.
I see.
Yes. So
interesting.
I don't mind teasing something like that, because it's just kind of a cute little side thing. So
interesting.
Yeah. So there will be some interesting things with Mr. Brooks. So don't count Mr. Brooks out. He'll be around for some fun little things ahead.
I will not count Mr. Brooks
out.
A
new character who has a little bit of purpose to some extent, more than Drew Valentine.
Well, Drew Valentine's, doing the most in the next episode as well, isn't he? Should we get the binder back out and have a bit of a grammatically incorrect synopsis?
Yeah, let's see how many typos we get here. So, episode 4, Future Tense, aired October 25th, 2000. Everybody starts to think about their future and how they are getting into college. Joey's concerned about Pacey not having grades good enough to get into college.
He's just been getting good grades. Stop panicking.
I know, right? I'll give him a chance. Drew makes everybody think it's Jen's birthday so he can make a party. Andy takes over Jack's applications and drives him crazy with her obsession over it. Gretchen is applying for a job as bartender. Okay, I guess that happens in this episode. I guess I jumped in there. Applying for a job as bartender at Mrs. Leary's restaurant, and doesn't exactly tell what happened or what will happen with college. So, yes, I watched these episodes a couple of days ago, so I morphed.
So did I. So, we did touch on that Gretchen situation. It's interesting. Yeah. I like that she's here as a character.
A better new character, a better interesting new character than Drew at all time.
Yeah, God, it's better to have, a witter sibling than Will, whatever his name was, who I was old friends with Pacey. I'm here for 3 episodes and then going to do my own show. Bye.
Yes, that ultimately went nowhere.
Absolutely pointless.
You don't want to do a Young Americans?
No.
Morgan hasn't seen TV.
No, I don't. I really don't.
You don't want to see Will Krutsky again?
Gretchen's at least got some substance to her.
Yes.
So
yes,
I like that.
Yeah. And
we
an
also
interesting
touched
thing.
on.
Yeah, with her and Dawson kind of forming this bond as well.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
There's also interesting things going on with Dawson's wet look long hair that I'm not an over fan of. It's too long. Like, if you're gonna have hair that long, it can't be wet look.
Yes, because season 1 he had longish hair, but it
did. And it was big, and it was nice, and it was very sweep back and voluminous.
It's like flat, stringy, wet.
It's terrible.
It's not.
It's awful.
Look. Yeah, and it makes his face look longer because James Vanderbeek does have a very long face.
Very long face.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, and so the hair does not. It just accentuates that even more. But
yeah. We've also obviously already touched on Andy's obsession
ambitiousness.
with
Yes.
college and Jack's annoyance of it all.
Yeah, he ends
Jack's
up.
just more chill, isn't he? This is what I like. I've
Yeah.
always liked about Jack. He just takes things.
He's very chill
in
and
his
he's very
stride.
honest. Yes, Andy's bugging him and he will tell her she's bugging him. And he was
knows, but he know. What I like about Jack, what I've always liked about Jack, is that he knows, even with the emotional roller coaster that he went through over a certain period of time, with his coming out and his relationship with Ethan and all this kind of stuff. He's always remained very sure of himself.
Yeah.
And he knows I think what I like about him is that he knows he's going to be okay. And I think that's what makes him significantly different to Andy, is I think Andy, in her mind, knows she's not going to be okay. So has to do everything she can
to make sure everything's okay. Yeah.
And Jack's kind of the total opposite. He knows everything will be okay. He's just going to do what he needs to do. If he doesn't do that, then it won't be okay. And he knows that. So he will just do what he needs to do, take everything in his stride, and it will work out. And Andy never thinks that just doing what she needs to do will be okay.
Yes, she feels like she has to do some extra level of something to make it okay. So yeah, Jack, he's excited about football. He talks about that being kind of the one thing that he has that he feels good about, that makes him feel normal. And then
that much of Jack of football either, did we? We've got about 3 episodes of Jack playing football, and then where's that been since the start of season 3?
Well, yeah, I mean, they were on summer break. School's just back.
No, now they weren't throughout season 3.
Yeah, we only got, it was like the Eve season was when we kind of got the most, because that was when Jack became football player, and it was this whole kind of opposites.
Yeah, when he became football player, yes. Yeah. But then once he was football player,
we didn't really get.
Surely there's been a football season. I've never heard Jack speak about football.
Yes, well, he's excited to play again, and so we see a little bit of that, but then he gets injured right at the beginning of the season, so now he's out.
Never good.
So now and he's just stuck with Andy bothering him about school and him being frustrated because the one thing that kind of made him feel good, he can't do right now. So that's kind of where he's sitting in a really kind of frustrated place. And he ultimately does tell Andy kind of, leave me alone, lady.
Please go away.
Yeah, so I do appreciate him being able to just be honest with her on that. But yeah, this whole episode is kind of wrapped up around them thinking about their futures. Joey is a kind of frustrated because, they all kind of have these conversations with the guidance counselor, and Joey learns she's 4th in her class. But she feels like that's not enough because most people who are 4th in their class also have this really good extracurricular thing, and she doesn't really have anything else. So the fact that, she's 4 without some extra thing, the guidance counselor kind of made. No, where did that go? I mean, I do like.
Where did that go? I mean, surely it's still there. Surely she's
yes. So I do like in those. I will give it to Dawson in those episodes when he calls her out for doing these flighty things and making it her whole personality. And then it's just. We did get a couple episodes where he did kind of call her out on those types of things, which I appreciated because we're in the same boat. What you made this whole big thing about this, and then. Okay, you're not.
You got this wall. There's this wall. The wall,
right?
The wall's
exactly.
Still there,
exactly. So I guess that's not a suitable extracurricular in her mind. I don't know, but she's just stressed about it, and she rightfully feels like she can't complain to Pacey about it because, you're complaining about being 4th in your class. I might not even graduate, lady.
I'm second bottom.
Exactly. But so it's a complicated. I would love for her to feel like she could talk to Pacey about anything and him just be understanding about it. But then on the other hand, you kind of get, yes. And so when she does try to talk about it, he does kind of tell her she's being silly about it. So it sucks that he's kind of dismissive about it, but it is a weird kind of precarious situation where he's kind of the last person you could talk to about it. So it's really disappointing that we are finding, okay, maybe there's things that they can't really fully talk about without it kind of being a thing.
Yeah, and I suppose in obviously the age they are, the situation they're in, education is going to be an awful lot of your focus.
Yeah.
What I think they're very good at is emotional conversation and personal conversation. But yeah, I think when it comes to any sort of ambition
future type of things, yes,
because
and
Pacey's a very present,
flighty.
he's a very let's just survive the day and crack on.
Exactly. And so I think that's an obstacle for the two of them because that's not something they really had to think about because it was summertime and whatever. And their worlds and their lives not being combined. Now that their lives are combined, her having this plan for the future and him not having a plan for the future, that is an obstacle that they're going to have to kind of deal with. That was not something they factored into this relationship. So it's seeming like
it can be dealt with, and it doesn't. Nobody has to change in order to deal with it either.
No, because he says, I'm going to be wherever you are. He kind of basically tells her by the end of this because she's like, I don't want to, like, I'm afraid to kind of talk about these things of wanting to go off somewhere and go to college and leave you behind. And he's like, well, you're not leaving me behind because I won't be here. I'll be wherever you are. So I love that kind of
whatever happened to Paris, Joey?
Right.
There's another one. There's another little punch in the face for you.
Exactly.
You could go to Paris if you wanted to.
Exactly. So yeah, I like that we're seeing this. It could be an issue for them, but I like that they kind of deal with it by the end. But ultimately, in the midst of Pacey not really being able to understand her perspective, she decides to go to this party that Drew goes around the whole school telling it's Jen's birthday and throws her this big birthday party and tells her.
Now, why would he do this, Jeannine? Because he knows her.
He knows her from New York. They used to party together, and he was her kind of dealer
together and be animals on the street
be scandalous together. So yeah, she's kind of shocked that he's there and that he kind of already knows people in her circle, and she's very much not about that life anymore. So him kind of bringing up her past again is really kind of scary for her and frustrating. And
no more cocaine for Jen.
No, she's a good girl now. She's a good girl now. So
Drew's like he's like a pusher.
Yeah, and he's bored.
Literally, he's opening his coat, going, here, do you want some?
Yeah, do you want
have some of this?
Exactly.
Have some of this. Go away.
Right? And he's bored, so he's trying to get her to make Capeside the new New York for them kind of thing. And he's pushing it. So he decides to, she blows him off and says, leave me alone. And then he proceeds to tell everyone it's her birthday and throw this party. So they decide, oh, fine, let's just go to this party. So Joey, she's struggling.
You don't think these idiot people in Capeside would check? You don't think they'd just go, oh, Jen, is it your birthday? Oh, happy birthday. I'll see you at your party. And then Jen would say to them, what? It isn't my birthday. There's no party. Who's told you that? And then go and sort it out and there will be no party. Why do all these idiot people just go, oh, birthday? Okay.
It's high school. They don't care. It's a party. So they're really not. I don't think they're going to do their due diligence about a party. They're like, call a high school party. Let's do it. So then everyone decides to just go to this party because what else is there to do? And Joey gets a little drunk at this party because she's stressing about her future and she can't talk to Pacey about it. And Dawson kind of gets to see them fight for the first time. And he kind of says that's interesting. And he says, seeing them fight.
Interesting. What he says is
seeing them fight is like, but no, I think he also said like seeing them fight kind of hurt him more than seeing them like be all kissy and stuff. Because it kind of showed how kind of real their relationship is. I think he said something to that degree.
Yes, okay. Which I understand, but also I think there's twisted motives behind this. I think seeing them fight is more difficult. Fainting, giving it all this. Seeing them fight is more difficult than seeing them be loving because they don't even like each other yet they are together, and she's not with me.
Yeah,
and
there might be a little bit of
that.
There might be a little bit of that simmering underneath, but he claims that like it's harder to see them kind of fight and be an actual real couple with kind of a real established kind of arguments and things like that than,
yeah.
everything just being this easy, lovey-dovey kind of surface level thing. It like shows him that there's something deeper going on there. So it's the point where Joey gets drunk and she's kind of saying some belligerent things and kind of being rude to Pacey, and to the point where he just picks her up and hoists her over his shoulder and takes her out of the party. But before that, we do get this really cute moment.
Impressive from Joshua Jackson there to just be
Yes, to pick her up and go. But before that, we get this really cute moment of drunk Joey with Jen, and they're kind of sat outside the party. And we get this kind of fun conversation about, Joey saying, we're not friends. And then it's like, I'm just kidding. She's like, but when did we actually become friends? And Jen's like, I don't think we should talk about that.
No.
I don't think we should go down that road.
About that now.
Yes. And so ultimately,
you became friends after there was a whole early breakup situation in the show.
Yes.
That was when you became friends. You guys
kind of became buddies. But then Andy ends up coming out there, and so the three of them kind of sit and really talk about their futures, and then say, we're going to come back here in 10 years and kind of see if we made it where we said we were going to be in 10 years. So I like this kind of
idea. What a wonderful idea that teen things always do. Yeah. Teen movies, shows, anything like this. Oh, we'll keep in touch with each other, of course, and then we will come back in 10 years in this instance, or in 50, in 20 years, 5 years, whatever it is, and we will share stories about all the wonderful things we've done. And then all that time passes, you never hear from these people again, and you never speak to these people again, and you haven't done close to what
any of the
do.
things
You're
that you said you were going to do.
You're all absolutely fine in life, but far more boring than you anticipated you would be. And you just really don't care to do any of that anymore. And I love seeing it, because I'm in that stage now where I am literally like, what am I, 12 years gone from high school, right? So it's the era for me of, should we get back? Should we do something and see where everybody's? No, let's not do that. That's a terrible idea. And it's not because I'm in any way ashamed of what I'm doing or anything. I've got no time to be going around trying to be brash about myself anyway. And then having all other people, look what I've done. Look what who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Who actually wants to do that? If you want to get together, perfectly fine. Let's go and get together and have a nice conversation about life, sure. But you know what these situations are. These are arrogance fests, aren't they? That's what they are. It's a festival of big-headedness.
As somebody who's been to 2 high school reunions at this point, I can tell you that, I think a lot of people don't end up where they kind of maybe thought they were going to be. And it is kind of weird and awkward, but then it's also a little bit comforting to see that, like, you're not alone in the fact that, like, you are also not where.
Okay.
Yeah. But then,
I get that.
And
but
then you kind of,
well, there's going to be 1 or 2 people who are going in there going, "Oh, yes, I am the king. Look at me.
Yes,
I have everything and you have nothing." And people are going to be like that, and I have no time for that, and I would just leave.
Well, knowing these 3 characters, I don't see them being like that in terms of.
Truthfully, no. It just reminded me of that
whole promise
general idea
in a friend group, and years pass
because
and you don't really talk to them. I get
and the I suppose the most annoying thing about it is that I think I have this situation, right? I had a very close friend group in school, and friends in college and all that kind of stuff. Do I barely speak to any of them? No. I barely speak to any of them now. Do I wish ill will on them? Not in the slightest.
But
You
that's
know,
just kind of how
I
things
wish them
go
all
sometimes.
wonderful lives. Truly,
Yeah.
I wish every single one of my old friends truly wonderful lives. Yet I genuinely speak to one of them, and that's nowhere near as much as I even want to speak to him. You know, it's everybody's doing things. Everybody's doing things.
Everything's busy doing things and kind of grow apart, and that kind of thing happens. But yes, we would like to hope that these three ladies maybe could be people who actually hold that true. Especially since this whole episode is about kind of thinking about the future.
I mean, yeah, I wonder if people actually do please let us know in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube or
yes, if you've
across
had
the
like a
social
friend group
media.
situation that you've kind of gotten back together.
Yeah, what situation you are in. Are you actively and consistently still hanging out with friends from your educational days? Or are you like, I feel like the vast majority of people, where you have the best intentions and you wish your old school friends well, but you have literally not spoken to them in 15 years?
Yes. I mean, I one of our patrons is actually one of like the one friends I made in college. So,
Oh yes, that's right.
yes, Eric Garcia. So shout out to him. But yeah, like I don't know how common that is for people to kind of make a pact like this and then kind of hold true to it.
I definitely have had meetups with old
college
educational
friends
and things. I say educational because there was 3 separate high school, college, university. I definitely have had meetups in the years since, 100%, which were great, fun, nice to do. But they're not frequent.
No, definitely not frequent. No, exactly. Actually, now that I think of it, my ex-boyfriend and his best friend, who were friends of mine in high school and junior high, and I think one of them even elementary school. I got a little message in my face that they're doing like this dinner theater show, and they invited me to it. So, I mean, one of those very situations right there faced with. So
there you go.
Yeah, it happens, I suppose. So yes, we would like to think these three ladies might be capable of keeping that kind of pact, but it seems like a rare thing. What else are we getting in this episode? Oh, I think Gail is kind of questioning why Dawson wants to, all the schools he's applying to are kind of far away. If he's running away from something, this whole kind of situation that he's dealing with.
Probably.
Yes.
I think that's fairly obvious that he's probably in that
he tries to chalk it up to, film school in California makes sense kind of thing. But
yes, it does in truth, Dawson. It does make sense to go to film school in California, but it also makes sense to go to film school in New York, which isn't that far away.
Yes. So Gail kind of questions that, and he doesn't like outright kind of deny that maybe that's what's going on a little bit. So,
yeah.
Like,
it's a funny old.
Well,
it's a funny old episode, really. It's more of a reflective episode than
them kind of looking ahead. Yes, it's more just kind of this where they sit right now after kind of talking to the guidance counselor and them really thinking about the future. So,
it's interesting though. Season 4 getting off to a very thoughtful start.
Yes. Oh, well, we did get a little moment. We got this kind of cute little 16 candles type shot with Drew and Jen.
Yes.
And him giving her ecstasy. And saying she didn't want it. It was ecstasy. So yeah, but then she also kind of wonders what his life looks like in Capeside, and she learns from Joey that and so she learns that he is living in a crappy apartment with his mom and that kind of thing. So I think she's like behind the scenes maybe taking a bit of sympathy and pity on him because he's like seemingly acting out because of, the abandonment of his father. And we got kind of a sense of that when he first met Joey.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I mean,
him
you
calling out
understand
these
that,
rich
don't
snobs.
you?
Yes. So we get a sense that there's a little bit of at least there's an effort to make this character somewhat deep and maybe kind of hurt. And that's why he kind of acts out the way he does, very much kind of like an Abby Morgan type situation.
Sure. I don't. My dislike of him does not come from the fact that I think he is a one-dimensional character. I think he's a deep
just
enough
the things
character.
he does are
It's
obnoxious.
just the things he does are very, very unlikable and obnoxious. Yes, exactly.
Yes. So before we close out, I forgot that there was that little moment with Drew kind of trying to coax Jen back into that dark life, giving her that ecstasy, the cute little 16 candles sitting on the table with the birthday cake scene, and her kind of learning.
16 candles. It's 16 candles. A little weird.
But I mean, yes, of course it is. It is a weird movie, but that scene is very iconic. Just the sitting, crisscross applesauce on the counter with the cake in between.
I hate that phrase. Can I just say I hate that phrase?
I know, but the other phrase is very inappropriate. The original term.
What's the original term? Just say cross-legged.
Okay.
That's the British term.
Yes, well, the
cross-legged.
The American term was.
I actually dread to think it's probably something horrifically racist, isn't it? It's definitely something horrifically racist.
A little bit.
Of course it is. Why would it not be?
Yeah. Yes. So it is now cross, which yes, I think is stupid. So cross-legged. Yes. Cross-legged.
I hate that phrase. I hate that phrase because why is cross rhyming with sauce? That's the annoying part.
Cross sauce. I mean, it does when you say it.
Cross sauce. Cross sauce.
Oh, it's just your British pronunciation nonsense.
Sauce rhymes with horse.
Sauce. Sure. It's just your fancy.
Rhymes with horse.
Here, cross rhymes with sauce. Because we don't say sauce. We say sauce.
It's a stupid phrase, and I hate it.
But cross-leg also, I picture somebody like sitting up with their legs crossed, not like, so that's why.
Oh God, why
you know what I mean?
Have to be so,
so
complicated.
Specific. Yeah, exactly. Yes. So yes, I will tell you off camera what the horrible original term was.
Please, but, yes, actually, I'm somewhat intrigued, but obviously from very questionable reasons.
Yes. So yeah, I think that was kind of a scene we didn't mention. But yeah, we get a little bit of sympathy. Jen kind of learning about what Drew's home life looks like and kind of potentially gonna take pity on him at a certain point. So yeah,
interesting though. Excited for more, of course, as always on Discovering Dawson's Creek, as season 4 may begin to get a little substantial as the weeks go on. Of course, this is not the only thing we have on a Monday, though. Of course, we alternate every Monday, both on this It's a Wonderful Podcast YouTube channel, where you can subscribe and ding your notification bell, of course, if you are watching today's episode. If you are listening, do subscribe to the podcast feed wherever you are listening on all major platforms. Leave your comments on Spotify, rate and review across any platform you may be on. Leave your comments on YouTube, of course, as well. Let us know what you think about high opinions and the like. But I forget what I was actually saying. Now it alternates, of course, with diving into Doctor Who at the moment on a Monday, which is very exciting as we get a little bit further into the 9th Doctor's one season run as well. And we're enjoying that over there. We also have Morgan Hasn't Seen every Wednesday on the podcast feed. And the main show, of course, celebrating old movies every single Friday. What we love to do most here on It's a Wonderful Podcast is exactly that. So, yes, do subscribe and do all that wherever you are listening. If you want to support us on Patreon or donate in any way, you can find links in the description to do that. Or, of course, you can just find us on and across all the social medias. They've been scrolling down at the bottom of the screen if you are watching today, but if you have not been watching, you will not know that. There are links in the description as well, but you can find us on the app formerly known as Twitter and on Blue Sky. It's a wonderful one. Find me on the app formerly known as Twitter at the Purple Dawn with the 3 instead of the E and the because, Jeannine.
3 is a magic number.
On Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at the Purple Dawn. All your storminess is where.
Ooh. You can find me Jeannine Bean _ on Twitter, Jeannine Bean on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And if you want to get any merch for any of our shows, just check the description for the link or search G9 Design on tpublic.com.
There we go. There is, of course, only one thing left to do, Jeannine, and your finest drunk Joey impression, please.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye. Cross sauce.